business and brand and help my clients build the right mindset and perspective so they can thrive and be who they are, right? So I don't try not to do too much of the therapy part. I send them to therapy or send them to other people because that's not my job. My job is just to show these are the different exercises, meditate every morning or tune in to whatever it is you need to do, set your goals and take a certain amount of action. There are a lot of different things like that will be very concrete. So, but at times when I can see a client repeating patterns, right, or they're doing something that is so blatantly hurting them, we will go into it and I'll take a look at it. And a lot of times that's when the huge breakthroughs will come from clients, and they'll just have avalanches of clients coming in or money coming in because suddenly we can break through that thing. But my job is really just more to show people there's different tools that they can keep using in order to be more constructive, productive, and free, both in their mind and in their business, taking action.
That's beautiful. And one more time, if I wanted or someone listening wanted to find out more about you or connect with you, what's the best way for them to go about doing that?
So you can go to my website, which is borncelebrity.com, or you can call 1-800-246-0106 and connect with us there. But also, I wanted to give all of you who are listening, if you wanted, I have this 5-hour amazing training that goes really deep into your ultimate worth and value and it's called YourUltimateWealth.com, and it's a free training. You can just sign up and go there, and then you can get to know a little bit more about me and what I do, and then you can also hear my husband Marc actually interviews me, and we talk very deeply into mindset, about money, about action, about brand, about all these different things that we're talking about tonight. But so that's the best way, and I love giving away something of real amazing value. This is over $997 value in this training program, and I like to giving this away because I think it's the best way to get to know me, and also for all of you listening, for you to take action and get into your power, into your truth, into your purpose, and get going.
No, that's beautiful. I love that. When things like The Secret came out a few years ago, probably what was that, 7 years ago?
I was in one of those movies.
Were you really?
I just can't. Yeah, the Leap movie. Yeah, it got really big. I guess.
How do you feel about the law of attraction, and what is your?
I love all of it, but I'm big on action. I've always been. I mean, I am somebody who will sit still and I will visualize, and I get a vision and I'll go and do it. But I go and create it. Absolutely. So I remember I was living in Mount Shasta when I was at 22. I moved out to Mount Shasta, up to the top of the mountain without electricity, 7,000 feet. Or no, that was higher.
True?
Sorry.
You moved up there and just stayed in the mountain? Oh, that's fantastic.
I stayed up on a mountain without electricity because I was too sensitive at the time. And I had this vision that I needed to do an event in San Francisco. And so I got this vision, and I called somebody and I asked if she wouldn't mind if I held it at her. She was a chiropractor, if I could hold the event at her space. And I was there 2 days later, and there were 50 or 60 people that showed up. So
that's fantastic.
But it's about taking action. So what I struggle with The Secret is the part of the lack taking action, and lack that other part of what you're going to actually do, having a plan, having steps, having understanding that there's so much more than just law of attraction. I'm a firm believer of it. I'm the proof of it because my success is from that part, but it's also from massive action. It's having structure. It's going out there, it's speaking, it's being in your energy, it's daring to grab life by its horn and business by its horn and just going for it, if that makes sense.
No, I agree with that absolutely, because I would say if someone asked me that same question. I've been asked questions about, things like The Secret and the Law of Attraction, of course, and, even did a show one time on reincarnation and the law of attraction and how those things potentially could work. And my belief is very much in alignment with yours. I think it's not, when I see things like, it's like a shopping list of the universe, I go, well, you got to do something. There has to be a reciprocal energy. There's an exchange here, at least an energetic exchange, a focus, if nothing else. And if you're focused, there's typically an action that comes out of that. The strategy leads to tactics, right? So without that strategy, without steps that come out of that strategy, I don't see much happening. And so I was curious. I assumed that there was a relationship, but I didn't know philosophically how you would see it.
If you don't have the vision. Yeah, if you don't have the vision inside, you see, to me, I'm actually a dream maker, right? So I create a person's true worth and value and purpose out of nothing most of the time, right? Where they have never done this before or they haven't done this part. So we actually create a business and brand and everything out of nothing. So it has to come from that part of who we are, right? It comes from the depths of our being, but at the same time, there's a lot of steps to get it to actually manifest itself into wealth and riches and system and structure, all those things that before, to me, system and structure was something that I would just shy away from and say never, because I'm too flowy or intuitive or whatever. And to me, today, that's my core. It makes me straight. It makes me grounded, and I need that grounded energy for me. And all my clients seems to need it too, and it just makes them anchored and shine and really being powerful versus just floating around. So we need the action is part of the secret, But if you can't see it in your mind first, you can't manifest wealth. You have to see it in your mind. You have to know you're worth more. Like you said, you raised your prices, right? You have to know in your core that you're worth more. You have to see that you, or somebody has to tell you that you're worth different. You go, oh, I changed my frequency, right? I changed my worth. I changed my value, and that's partly what I do. I raise my clients their prices in their business a lot, and they go at me first time to go, I can't charge that, and I said, well, we'll get there, but that's what you're going to be charging, and it's beautiful to see us rise again to that true, our ultimate value, right? There's a big difference there because then suddenly we operate on a whole other level. We make a difference in other people's life, and we need to be rewarded for that. And also, when we honor ourselves, we then honor everybody around us. So it creates a ripple effect. So that, again, is law of attraction. It's the same thing.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I used to talk about this a lot. When I was an actor, if I was in a movie, I believed I was an actor. Because, I'm in this movie, you hired me, there's a lot of other actors that run around Los Angeles. If I'm in this film, by God, I'm an actor. And so when I showed up, as soon as I showed up, I knew that I was an actor. I was being paid, even if it's $50 and craft services, I was being paid, I was there. And so I had that mindset. And I talked to a man, because I was getting jobs as an actor all the time, which was very unusual. So I would talk to people, and I would say, how long you been doing it? And so I've been here 3 or 4 years. How many movies you been in? I've been 7. I go, well, I've been doing a month. I've been 5 or 6, right? So I would tell people how many movies I was in and how many parts I was getting. And I didn't have professional headshots, didn't have any of that. But I was just getting them all the time. They said, well, that's impossible, right? So, but it wasn't impossible because I was doing it. And I think a lot of it was that I just had this rhythm to it. I go, okay, I'm an actor, And so the moral of the story, I try to speed this up, is I talked to this guy. I'd been in one of these films. He was a producer. And I said, you think I should, a lot of people suggested I should, really pursue being an actor. You are the most, this is what he said to me, you are the most self-confident person I've ever seen in my life. You would have no problems being an actor because people know that you won't get shaken by whatever happens. So that's the most important quality, is that basically you don't freak out in whatever's going on. And but it kind of goes with what you're saying, I think. You have that core belief. All right, I'm an actor. I'm in a film. I don't have to second-guess myself. You hired me, so you're the proof. Poof, I'm an actor. And as a result of that, because I believed I was an actor, after I'd been in a couple, that made it just flow. It was really kind of interesting, kind of fascinating in a lot of ways. How easy.
Well, you were
was.
also into doing. That's the part of people we all need to get into doing, not sit there and wait, not sit there and hide, not, play small, not be afraid of our power. We need to get into doing. And I think we spend way too much time, being a wallflower versus being active in doing and in shining and in participating and sharing what we're here to do. And it's very interesting how I always wonder why it's kind of like the universe's joke or something, which is making us afraid of our true power of who we really are. And I've been thinking about that, and I think it's a part of us that we need to struggle. You probably heard the story that the scientist was trying to help this larva who was in a cocoon, who's becoming a butterfly, was trying to help it out of the larva or the cocoon, because thinking that, the butterfly shouldn't have to struggle so much. But in order to become a butterfly, you need the blood flow. The butterfly needs the blood flow, needs to struggle in order to have the blood flow going in the wings. And I think that we all need that part of struggle. We need to understand who we are and why we are. So we'll have obstacles, we'll have challenges, we have things going on that makes us stronger or makes us afraid of who we are. And I always think that obstacles makes us more defined. And maybe we all need to change how we perceive obstacles completely, or fear or doubt. It doesn't mean you're not powerful. It just means that maybe you're having a negative thought right now and you need to change it. Or you're having an obstacle, it means that you need to go through that obstacle and fix it. It's just we're looking too much for signs externally for affirmation of who we really are. And I think we need to first understand who we are. And that is probably the conundrum of life, right? Know ourselves.
No, I agree with
temple, right?
Everything you said, I agree with. And that's not always the case, but I mean, and I'm not saying this to be polite, everything that you've said, I agree with. And, I think that's true. It is kind of the conundrum. I mean, it is this sort of like circle. You go, wow, if you'd only get off this loop, look how easy it would be. But I understand we're on this loop, and at the same time, being on this loop potentially has some benefit. But you can't stay there forever. You have to use it as a benefit and not as a lifestyle. It's interesting. I mean, it's fun to listen to you. I like listening to you talk, and I mean that as a compliment. And I think not everyone. Oh, how do I want to say this? A lot of people try to give off the impression that they have it kind of going on. I typically don't buy it. But with you, everything that you say, I hear, and I go, well, yeah, that's who she is. That's who she is. I mean, I feel that in you. I hear that in you. Everything you say to me is consistent. So you had to have gone through, like you say, you went through 2 years of this intense vertigo. And you had whatever it is you had as a young girl when you said that you were bullied and not really understood. Do you think that those challenges helped make you stronger and helped you clarify what you want to do and how you want to do it?
Yeah, I can't say my life has been easy. I think none of our lives are easy, but I'm so grateful for all this